Hi, welcome to our third live. We are Freedom Habit.
Today we're talking about, I'm sorry, just jumped in.
That's all right.
Today we're talking about addictions beyond substances. Usually when we think of addictions, we think of alcohol or drugs. And the truth is that addiction lies in places that we least expect, like shopping and gaming and scrolling on your phone or eating. And
All those are kind of socially acceptable,
yeah,
for the most part. Gambling, even. And, I guess all those things are okay unless you let them get out of hand,
right.
So that's the
Yeah,
problem.
until they start controlling you.
Yeah, and then it gives our dopamine levels such a rush, and it raises so high that then we're going to have a drop, and then when our dopamine drops, the only way to do it is to get another fix. The only way to get it back up that high is to get another fix, no matter what it is.
You know what? That's exactly it. They're just small little hits of dopamine.
Yes.
They don't last very long, so we continue to chase after them.
Yeah. And it's just like a drug addict. They call it chasing the dragon or whatever. Like when people were on heroin, and it's just like which we had a little bit of that going on at one point. Never heroin, but pain pills. Same difference.
Yeah.
Oxycontin.
We're both recovering from.
Well, we're recovered.
We're recovered from addiction.
Yeah, we never went to AA. We never went to. And if you want to do that, or if you need to do that, that's up to you. But NA or AA, we just decided that's that. And when you can do that too, there's a lot of people. I feel like now, especially, a lot of people just decide.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to alcohol, some people who were drinking like a fifth of alcohol a day just were just like, I'm done, and they'll cut back and then just stop. So it is possible. I know the medical field still tries to tell you that it's a disease, and once you're an addict, you're always an addict, and it never goes away, and you have to deal with it constantly. And I'm sorry, that's not my experience, and it's not a lot of people's experience. Although, once again, if that helps you to believe that, then that's fine. You know what I mean? Whatever works for you is obviously
right. And usually your own belief is what works for you.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, because honestly, whatever God made it, because He lives in us, when we're co-creators with Him, that whatever we decide is the way our reality is going to look to us. If we decide reality's great and life's going to work out for us, it's probably going to, at least a lot. I mean, yeah, you're going to still have issues and problems from time to time, but you're not going to go down this path where your life is just one struggle after another, and you never have enough money, or you never have a good relationship, or you never, whatever. You get the point. Never have a good job that you like.
You get the point.
Yes. So we got anybody watching? It's really early in
it is.
Eastern Standard
it's
Time.
Very early.
Is it even? Are they even able to comment if they or watch? Or
looks like it. Yeah, right here.
Okay, that's cool. Well, the last time we did a live, there was an issue, and we couldn't we couldn't even see any comments or anybody, any viewers. So that's why I was asking.
That's me.
Hello. Oh yeah, you did write something.
I'm excited about doing a live.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we just wanted to bring up some of these addictions, because they're insidious. They're socially acceptable, and sometimes they can kind of take over our lives and we don't even realize it. Especially, like one of the things I had mentioned is food,
Right.
which is comfort in disguise. And I've mentioned before that, there's times where, especially if I'm going through something stressful, I will wake up through the night and the first thing I do is go to the refrigerator. I'm just eating, just comfort
Sure.
food eating. And, I did this for a lot of years without even realizing that that's what I was doing. I just kind of wake up thinking, oh, I'm awake. I'm just going to go grab something to eat. But now I'm very conscious of it, very aware of it. So when I wake up, I do my best to not head to the refrigerator. So that's one example.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that, and those things, like she said, they're insidious because they're socially acceptable, and of course we have to eat. So, but that's the thing. People, family, friends, whatever, they don't have a problem doing an intervention for someone who's drinking too much or taking drugs, to try to get them help. But someone can weigh 400 pounds and be 5'2", and nobody will. They'll just make jokes about it
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
be self-deprecating and act
Yeah.
like ha ha ha. Well, that's just as dangerous, if not even more,
Yeah.
than maybe drinking or something. There's people who drank. I don't know. Anybody ever hear of Keith Richards? He's like 82 years old and drank and did hair, but he never was heavy, and he doesn't look like somebody he's still around and he's still playing music. I'm just saying, it's pretty amazing, right?
Right.
And everybody got their own demons, I guess, their own little things that are
Yeah.
issues to deal with in life. Whether
Yeah. Well, here's the
what.
thing. When you get caught up in those addictions, those habits, they can really wreak havoc on your not just your life, but on your thinking, your mindset, and manifesting.
Yeah,
I would say, because usually when
yeah.
you're in an addiction mode, I know for myself when I was full blown in my addiction, I really wasn't a very happy person.
Oh
I
no,
wasn't thinking good thoughts.
no.
I wasn't treating myself well. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't. So, did it have an effect on my manifestation?
Of course.
Yes. Yes, I would
And
say.
yeah, and you don't treat yourself well because the only thing you're thinking about is, do I have enough pain pills? Oh my God, I'm going to run out in 2 days and I don't get any more for
Oops. Sorry.
for a week. So what am I going to do for a week?
Right.
Well, I'm either going to go into withdrawals and get really, really sick. And if I have a job, maybe have to call off work because I'm so sick I can't go to work. Or I'll have to go find a friend or a relative or somebody who I could buy them off of, who I could buy more off of. And it just becomes this vicious cycle. And
It
that's
does.
where we ended up
It does.
for quite a
And if
while.
anything, if you're manifesting at all, it's usually negative stuff because
We
we're
manif-
talking negative, we're
yes.
behaving negative. So, I mean, that's just, that's a pretty extreme example.
Right.
But we just kind of wanted to talk about how some of these, even these lesser, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? The more socially acceptable
Right.
addictions can also hinder your
Yeah.
manifestations.
Once again, you won't see a shopping intervention. Well,
Right.
maybe you will, but I mean, I've never heard of it. You never see them in movies, at least, or anything. It's always alcohol or drugs.
Yeah, well,
And
the thing with
that's it.
shopping, people think they're buying happiness, and there are people who will just continue to shop and shop and shop, and they get excited when it arrives, or once they get to the cashier and they pay for it, and it's all exciting. But once it's open, that whole thing is over. That's what it is. That
It's that,
little
yeah,
bits of
that
dopamine.
adrenaline, that dopamine, the
Yeah,
serotonin rush, whatever you want to. Well, it's all those things
yeah,
that kind of raise up. And life is all about balance, and our bodies are always seeking for equilibrium. So once we have those, they're neurotransmitters. All those things are neurotransmitters. Once they raise up to this level, and we have this rush, this physical rush, it has to drop back down to get back to an even keel place.
Right.
Homeostasis is what it's called.
And that's when we feel like the crash.
Yeah, and that's when you get depressed, and that's when you want to do it again. Or like porn. Somebody will watch porn and then whatever, or masturbate, and then the next thing a couple hours go by, and they're like, "Man, you're kind of feeling tired, kind of feeling anxious, and then what do? You comfort yourself again by watching porn. Same thing with eating, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like comfort food or whatever.
Yeah, I have porn on this list.
Yeah,
It
well,
talks about rewiring the intimacy too,
yeah.
changing the whole
Well, you were talking.
mindset about intimacy and how they look at their
Yeah, it could mess up relationships and cause sexual dysfunction and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But what she was saying about manifestation, especially with some kind of addiction, no matter what it is our identity, and that has a lot to do with why we have any of these addictions, because we're anxious and we're
Yes.
trying to we're trying to use outside
External.
yeah, there's actually a word that's external works, but yeah, exogenous things that exist outside of us. Seriously, that's the word.
I know. I just thinking I would have never came up with that word. Sorry.
Well, but it is, and we seek those things instead of learning how to regulate our own emotions.
Right.
And that's why we go out and seek these things, is because we never learn to regulate our own emotions.
No.
And you can't really manifest very well when you're not doing that. And the thing is everything is about identity or self-concept, the way you view yourself, the way you view the world, the way you think people view you, even all that stuff.
Right.
And unless you have a good outlook, a good
self-concept,
identity, self-concept, yeah, there's a good chance you're going to go down one of these paths, because you're not really being authentic and you're not having peace,
Right.
So you're always going to be seeking something outside of yourself.
You know what I just want to mention this one really quick. The phone doom scrolling. I think that one's the easiest to get caught up in. And I mentioned this in my video yesterday. I've been doing that. Yeah, you're right. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something to make us feel better outside of ourselves. And when we're looking outside of ourselves, we're looking in the wrong places. We're the only ones who can.
The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within, and all good things come from heaven and the Father of lights. Well, that all comes from inside. Until we give ourselves the peace and the joy, the acceptance internally, none of that's going to show up in the 3D externally for us. Because we have to not want it. If we're in a needy, desperate, I want this, I have to have this kind of mode, it really does, because you're so attached to it. It kind of runs it off. It keeps it at arm's length, because you haven't given it to yourself. You can't get anything externally until you give it to yourself mentally and emotionally, and know that you are whole just the way you are, and that you can live without it. Well, even if you don't get it, you'll be fine. That's a good way to. That's a really good way to look at it. I know if you want something, you want something, and that's okay. But it's that desperation thing that really causes attachment, which stops manifestation from happening. It's one of the worst things you could do, is just be desperate and needing and wanting it, because having it already inside is what gives it to you. And the peace that you gain from that makes you, then you start taking action out of inspired action, and everything leads you down a path, and things start kind of unfolding
They
for
do.
you, you
That's
know.
true.
And so I guess we went on really early. That's my guess, and there's nobody
It
around,
is
but
pretty early.
that's all right. You guys can always watch this later if you will, if you catch it later. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure you're even able to see it. So if anybody could see this, just could you give us like a thumbs up or something? If anybody's there. I just wanted to make sure people can see it. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. More than worrying if someone's watching. I don't really. It's not that big of a deal. So
yeah,
and that's the thing too. We've put a lot of trust in negative things. Like we count on negative things happening to us, which is another reason I think we comfort ourselves because we're worried about the future and we feel guilty or regret about the past. So we use those things
we do.
to cover that up too. And
I think we were all raised like that. We were all raised
survival
like
mode. Yeah.
In survival mode. And we just, part of survival mode is we just want to know it. We need to control our future and we need to fix our past.
Right.
I think. And we
Right.
never live in the present.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. That's how it was meant for us. That's how they wanted us to live. Dreaming about the past, worried about the future.
And never feeling like you're quite enough.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do quite enough. You're not quite smart enough. You're not quite pretty enough. You're not quite talented enough. So what do you do when you're missing something? You got to fill that space up with something.
Yeah.
Whether it's, once again, alcohol, food, gambling, gaming, it doesn't matter. But there's an emptiness. There's a spot inside you that feels empty and you got to fill it. Or at least distract yourself from feeling it or noticing it. And what do? There you go. Well, take your pick. We got a whole list here. So, yeah, it's not funny, but it is true, and we all do that. And I think everybody has done that at one point or another, and to certain degrees in their life. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think awareness is huge, and that's kind of why we're talking about it because there are little things that can go unnoticed. Like I finally realized that I have been scrolling on my phone for days, and and there's things you can do to alleviate that. They have like those phone trackers now, like you can log how long that you're on the internet, or maybe at night put the phone in a different room.
Yeah, another thing too that we try to escape is like intrusive thoughts, and like we just don't want to think about something. We don't want to feel something. It really doesn't matter. Um, and I think too, imposter syndrome. Sometimes we just feel like we're not adding up. We're not living up to who we should be or could be. Once again, there's so many reasons why people go out and seek exogenous substances, or not. Some of them aren't even substances. They're just hobbies and habits, really. And so
yeah, and it's
to
not
fill
about
that void.
depriving yourself. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about redirecting your energy to something healthy for you, better for you, a positive habit, if you will.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. We have no problem believing bad things are going to happen. But if someone starts talking positive, people almost look at you like you're crazy or something.
Yeah.
Like if you think, you know what, I bet tomorrow's going to be a great day. Everything's going to work out or whatever. Just, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something. But that's just even that. People be like, why are you thinking that? Like, what?
Yeah. Because we're trained to think the
Right.
worst.
And even when people would say, you know, you go to work and say good morning to someone, and it'll be like, is it? Haven't you had people say stuff like that or what?
Yeah.
I've had people go too. They will just say morning because they don't want to say good. They'll just go morning because they know someone might go, what do you mean it's a good morning? So they'll just trim it down to morning, which is
Right.
silly, but that's how trained we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we are. It's time we start training ourselves to be positive all the time.
Yeah, and not even toxic positivity. It's okay to feel like, you know, it's okay to feel your emotions and let them come up. And, you know, don't suppress them or anything, but pay attention, acknowledge them, and release them, and
Let them go.
let them go. And yeah, and set your mind on something more uplifting.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, you know. And there's different techniques and methods, and I know, you know, like meditation and journaling and scripting and affirmations, all that stuff. And all those things don't manifest. They just help us get our minds and hearts aligned correctly so we are able to manifest. Because it helps us change our identity,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's a bunch of little kids playing behind us now, which I'm not sure we can even put a video up with little kids behind us, but we're going to. But I think we should stop because it looks like they're going to be out there for a while. So
All right. Well, we hope you guys have a great
yes.
day. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for visiting our stand store. Thanks.
That's right. Check out our stand store. We got some cool stuff in there.
Yes.
So-
Thanks for all the likes, and we appreciate you. Have
All
a
right.
great day.
Bye.